There are certain lessons in life that while we all want to try to learn them from other people so that we don't end up making those mistakes ourselves, no amount of rationality will allow us to accept certain things that we that have been proven to be true with others, and we should be able to apply them to ourselves, and we just can't seem to learn that lesson on our own. And it came up during this video that I'm watching where Tucker Carlson's showing a bunch of his different interactions that he's had with Charlie Kirk over the years. I kind of enjoy watching Tucker Carlson, but he has a few insane beliefs that I'm just like, I don't know. And then I don't really know much about Charlie Kirk, so this gives you a little, gives me a little bit more insight than the little bit that I already had, just kind of watching their interactions. And there's a lot of heavy God stuff and all of that, and that's fine. To each their own. But for me, they said that, especially Tucker was talking about how you get to a certain point in your life and you start to realize that all of the achievements and stuff that you've had over the course of your life don't really seem to mean as much as you thought they were going to, which is a standard trope among successful people. They get things done. They have this life of, being high achievers, getting all kinds of crazy things accomplished in their life. And then they get to the end of it and they're just like, well, none of that really seems to matter anymore. And what's next? And you hear that all the time, and in the back of your head that even while you're chasing the goals that you have for your life, that you understand from the rational side of your brain, you understand that it's never going to satisfy whatever it is that drives you, because there's always something that you need. Until you actually achieve your dreams, until you actually achieve your goals, until you actually do those things, there is a non-rational, non-logical, highly emotional part of yourself that cannot be satisfied with the argument that if you achieve your goals, you're still going to be upset because you don't have this or that. And I can tell you, it's absolutely the case with everybody, because as long as you have your goals standing in front of you, they're sitting there and gnawing at the back of your head. Like you can't just sit there and ignore it. You have these things that you would like to get done in your life. You have these things that you want to do in your life, and they're always there. They don't go away. There is no amount of logical reasoning or rationalizing away these things that I don't need this. This isn't something I need to do. I need to focus more on the things that are important in this category or that category or whatever. But we as human beings just don't work that way. We do have logical, rational components that allow us to think outside of just, instinctive, primal, emotional things. But at the same time, we are instinctive, primal, emotional creatures. And the things that we've decided that we care about, regardless of whether they logically make sense to focus on, you're going to focus on them. And until you get to the point of accomplishing your goals and fulfilling your dreams and experiencing the things you want to experience in your life, you're not really capable of learning the lesson that getting those things done isn't what life is about. What life is supposed to be about is the relationships that you build with people, your spiritual journey, all of these things that we're told are the most important things, and you can accept that. And there can be a big part of you that understands that that's the most important part. But we still have this childlike emotional side of us that sees these things that we want to accomplish in our life or we want to experience in our life, and you can't just set those aside. And there's a reason why it's such a trope that people accomplish these things and then realize it wasn't the big deal, because you kind of have to go through the process to learn that specific lesson. It's not a lesson that can be passed down to you from other people. You can use that to guide your way forward towards achieving your goals and maybe try to moderate how obsessive you become about it. But you're not going to learn the lesson of your goals don't really matter that much until you've accomplished your goals and you experience the anticlimax that comes with it, and you start to realize that it wasn't. Because you can't envision your life, you can't envision your goals not really mattering, because right now they matter. They matter a lot because you really want to get them done and you really want to do them, and that's just the end of it. And you can tell yourself you don't want to, you can try to convince yourself you don't want to, but deep down, you want to do whatever it is that you decided you want to do. And until you get that done, until you satisfy that part of you that's just aching for whatever it is that you're trying to do, you're never going to be able to really learn the lesson of it didn't really matter in the first place. For me, my goals have changed over the years, but one of my goals is I want to travel. Like I go on a vacation once or twice a year. I want to go full-time traveling, either in my travel trailer, which I live in now, or on a boat circumnavigating the world, or something like that. I want to get out of this rat race of a life, and for the most part I've kind of sort of been able to do that to some extent, but not really. I want to get out of the rat race of life and start doing some real going around the world and seeing the world and seeing the things that I'm interested in seeing. Getting away from the routine of life and doing something and having an adventure, a real adventure, not some BS adventure where you know, whatever. I want to do something like that. And until I'm able to figure out how to make that happen, I'm not going to be satisfied that that goal is something I just need to set aside, and I just need to accept that life is what it is, and you just need to focus on this or focus on... No, I want the things that I want. I want to accomplish the tasks that I want to accomplish. And even though I know all the way through that none of that is really going to be the thing for me, it's a thing on my list that I need to check off. And that's how we are as human beings. We are a checklist of items that we've decided that we need to cross off, and that's just the end of it. And no matter how many times people who have already gone through that process try to teach us that that mentality is not going to result in the peace and satisfaction and all of those things that we hope that it's going to, and it's just one of those things that nobody can teach you. You must learn it for yourself. Because just like so many people believe that certain ideologies would work if we just did it right, and it never does because you can't do it right, we all have this feeling of, well, it'll work for me because this is what I really, really want and this is what I really want for my life, so it's going to be satisfying to me. Even though more rational people know that it's not going to be, the emotional side of you will not let it go, and for the most part, the vast majority of people cannot just turn that off. So, what's the purpose of this video right now? It's to tell you that, yes, listen to people when they tell you about chasing your dreams and how it's going to be mostly empty at the end of that journey. But there are two things to consider when it comes to chasing your goals. First and foremost, this is not a lesson that you can learn from other people. Most people cannot just learn this lesson vicariously from somebody else. It's just not the way that we work as people. You have to go through the process to learn this particular lesson. But two, there is value in the pursuit of your goals. So while yes, achieving your goals is going to leave you feeling somewhat empty and disappointed and anticlimactic because it didn't give you the result you were hoping for, the process of going from nothing to your goal does have value to it. It does help you grow as a person, and it is a spiritual thing that contributes to you being a better person on the other side of it. So while the goal itself and achieving the goal may not give you what you want, the pursuit of that goal will have a great deal of value and will help you into the future. So just keep that kind of stuff in mind. Don't be discouraged, and have a high sense of anticipation as you start to near the completion of whatever goals it is that you have, that you're not going to be satisfied with it, but the pursuit of you going through it was the benefit, not getting the goal completed. Okay? So that's all I wanted to say. Hit that like button, subscribe to help us reach our first 1,000 subscribers, and I will see you for the next one.